A major component of all civilizations is agriculture, which provides food and care for the population while also fostering the land's nature. There wouldn't be any life on the land without farmers. If it weren't for them, we'd also cease to exist. Unfortunately, their experiences are often kept untold. According to 2012 Census of Agriculture in the Philippines, more than 5 million of its population was composed of farmers. Because basically, the Philippines is an agricultural country. We considered our farmers and our agricultural sectors as the backbone of our country, as they are the one who's working hard to produce crops and secure food on our table, not just once in a day but thrice every day. But as the years go by and as technology expanded, many of our farmers experience not just discrimination but also negligence from our own government. As what Senator Pangilinan said during the Grow Asia Agriculture Forum in year 2014, farmers are extremely discriminated against. We look down on the farmer, they have been neglected, taken advantage of, and used. How ironic that farmers remain as one of the poorest group in our society, even if they are one of the people who have crucial role in ensuring food for every Filipinos.
Agriculture is a practice of raising crops and cultivating soils, as well as managing or raising livestock so that it will produce foods and products. Agriculture has been a major part of the Philippines, in which it has approximately 10% of the GDP. It has been said that Philippines is rich in nature and resources, but this wealth is threatened by rapid urbanization, economic growth, and climate change. Recently, it is announced in the Philippines that there are some short supply of chicken in some stores from McDonald's and Jollibee. In some places from Global South, like the Philippines, you have poor and collapsing agriculture due to reasons: lack of support. Agriculture has been always ignored in some governments. Farmers receive not enough income, resulting them to quit jobs.
5 taon pa yan, wala nang sasakayin dito. Puro mga pabrika na dyan, umalis na.
Since the government does not fully support the agriculture sector, this would result a problem for budgeting for buying machineries, resulting more labor work and slow production of crops, as well as for the livestock due to the feed shortage, diseases, and lack of jobs that deals with the livestock. Education. There are two people who are affected by the education: the farmers and the young people. For the farmers, since some of them came to the poor, they cannot support their life to study, forcing them to work as a farmer. For the students or the young people, there has been a small workers belong to the agriculture due to Filipinos being focused in some other careers such as engineering, medical courses, teaching, and law. The effects of climate change. One of the signs of climate change is the high temperature. It has been said that as daytime temperature increases, crops of yield reduces. Livestock can suffer from intense heat too. This will decrease the meat and milk production. Now we know the reasons or the causes of the collapse of agriculture in the Philippines. Then by now, we should think of a solution. What would it be? Well, at first, in the government part, their focus must be on the agriculture. Aside from other sectors, Government must be focusing and invest much in the agriculture part and provide enough budget to the Department of Agriculture so that this would lead us enough food supply. Farmers must be given a chance to have a bigger income or give them a chance to decide their price so that they won't be discouraged to their jobs. But we should remember that we shouldn't always depend on the government. Yes, it can start from you or us. We should educate young people the importance of agriculture so that they will lead on a career that focuses on the agriculture and help the farmers also. Buy local products from them and have an advocacy that raises awareness how climate change affects our agriculture. Small actions can help everyone and can lead into a stable flow of agriculture. Remember, it can start from you.
Agriculture is the lifeblood of the Philippines. It feeds a population of over 100 million people, while contributing an average of 10% to the GDP and providing employment to a third of the country's labor force, who are among the poorest and most vulnerable. In the face of intensifying disaster in a host of other challenges, the sector needs to produce more food using less resources to meet growing demand. It also needs to become part of the solution to the most important development issues we face today and for into the future. Filipinos have articulated their vision for the country and the kind of life they hope to live by 2040. Collectively, 193 UN member states have set ambitious goals to achieve by 2030, including being the first generation to end hunger. Agriculture has a major role in making all this a reality, and if we work together, we can reach the finish line without leaving anyone behind.
Can every human produce his or her own food? Do you think this is a realistic option? Imagine growing your own food every day. There is an assurance that this wouldn't be an easy job to do, and that's why we need farmers. They produce food for the entire country. And with a growing population, food needs to be produced on a large scale. So what does producing food means? Are planting seeds and breeding of animals the only events in food production? Of course not. A lot of effort goes into the process of food production. One of the things this process includes is regular production of food. Secondly is the proper management of the resources produced. And lastly is fair distribution among the people. But how did this idea of food production come into existence? What do we call the production of plants in a specific area of land? So yes, it is agriculture. But how did man get this idea of agriculture? Man was traveling for many years. Survival was mainly dependent on fruits, roots, and hunting. But eventually man learned the culture of cultivation. Man learned agriculture by observing nature. What is the most important part among all the components in agriculture? Of course, the crops. But what exactly do you mean by crops? When seeds of a plant are grown on a large scale, we call it a crop. Crops are therefore classified based on the season they are grown in. So the rate of supplies in agriculture from countries are also based on the seasons. Is it justifiable? An example is the two types of crops that are grown in India: the season of the Kharif crops and Rabi crops. What is the difference between the two? Kharif are for the rainy season, while the Rabi are for the winter season. Rainy season in India spans from June to September. Crops grown in this period are paddy, maize, soybean, which require moisture and a large quantity of water. So when does India have winter? winter months of India begin in the month of November to February. What crops are suited in this climate? And yes, wheat, mustard, and grams are few of the winter crops. What is grown in the summer months then? Well, summer months usually do not see a lot of cultivation, but some vegetables and pulses can be grown in the summer with the help of irrigation.